Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to get started on today's webinar for machine vision with Cognex, our very special guest, doing machine vision for packaging applications. If I could get an audio confirmation from our headquarters, it'd be great. And all right, good. Good feedback. Okay, so we're going to get started today. What's going to happen today is myself, I'm Scott Courtier. I'm Senior Technical Sales with Indusoft. I'm going to do some quick introductions. Myself and Mr. And I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong, and I so apologize. And you said it's okay if I call you a slightly different name, but we're going to have Oliver come on from Cognex and present some different options for using machine vision in packaging automation. But before we do that, I'm going to do a quick overview and a quick demo on being able to tie some of the Cognex products into Indusoft Web Studio. And hopefully I complement and don't overstep what Oliver's going to do. But I wanted to make you aware that you can get to our packaging brochure on our website. And let me open up the website here. And you don't need to see our WebEx information here, but I'm going to open up the Indusoft homepage, and if you were to take a look at this homepage, and you can go to the marketing literature page, and this page is going to change slightly because, as you can see or could see on our homepage, we've just released version 8.0, so we're going to get some new data sheets up here fairly soon. But right here is the packaging brochure. And you can download that and take a look at that, or request one, a hard copy if you need it. So that's something that's available, as well as we also have a whole packaging industry web page. You can get at it at this link if you're looking at the recording. Let me show you where else you can find it. You can go to industries and then go to packaging here. And this gives you a lot of great information about the different types of packaging machines and what we can do to help with that, or from an overall standpoint, what can we do just with machines in general, some case studies and videos related to packaging, and finally some certified system integrators that we have around the world that can do packaging type applications. So let me move this off the screen here. And we also have a new PACML template that's coming soon. If you're not familiar with PACML, what they did is they got together and they standardized the language that machines and packaging applications can talk to each other in a common type language. And what this means is the terminology. For example, when the machine's not running, is it not running? Is it stopped? Is it stopping? The terminology, they've standardized on what it will be and what it means so that everybody's using the same terminology. So that also includes a state template that shows what state the machine is in, and that template being that we have coming soon will allow you to drill down into different lines, different machines, and be able to show you the state of any of those machines. We also have on our website a sample application that's free of charge to show OEE, or overall equipment effectiveness. And what that shows is that, for example, if your machine is supposed to be running for an 8-hour shift and it's running only for 6 hours, well, what's it doing during those other parts? It can show you how efficient it is and what you can possibly do to improve its efficiency without adding additional resources or machinery. So the next slide that I want to show you here is we've got benefits. Indusoft Web Studio has benefits for really every different type of machine in the packaging world. I've listed quite a few here, from kind of going in the order that you might see on a packaging line, whether it be feeding, blister packing, capping, material handling and conveying, form, fill, and seal for like potato chip bags or any products really, inspection, case forming, accumulating, cartoning, labeling, and wrapping. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on the next slide here, I'm going to kind of highlight just some ideas. I took just a few of these, just 3 of these, and I thought, you know what, with inspection, we can do tracing of different products, logging of pass-fail information to a database, based on product codes, and you're going to see in Oliver's presentation on maybe how we can do character recognition, optical character recognition, and maybe save an image or save the product codes along with the information into a database. Labeling, is it legible? Is it aligned properly? Are the right contents on there? And you're going to see his demo give you some more information about some of this. And then I'm going to give you an example here now. There might be a bottling line. Is a cap on a bottle? Is it on correctly? Is the fill level there? And I'm going to take that a little bit step further. It's not only showing you the image, but I'm going to try to get some information out of their the Cognex Insight emulator by using OPC. It's something I've never done in public before. We'll see if it works today. So let's see if I can demonstrate that. So what I'm going to do is I have InduSoft Web Studio version 8 open here. And again, if you didn't know, it's version 8 is available up on our website. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start a brand new project, and I'm going to call this HMI Vision Afternoon. And let's see if I spelled that right. And I'm going to pick a brand new license here and start from scratch. So what I'm going to do in this demo is bring in some information, actually the images from the Insight tool that's going to be emulating how we might talk to an actual camera, scanner, device, whatever it may be. And you're going to see some of those examples from Oliver. So what I'm going to do is create a brand new screen here just to show you I'm bringing this in from scratch. Now, when I had installed the Cognex tool, the Insight Explorer tool, one of the things that it did is it installed and registered an ActiveX component that we can then use and drop into InduSoft Web Studio. Now I'm going to open up their Insight tool here, and I'll open up a job in their tool, but as this is opening up here, what I'm going to do is go back to InduSoft and show you here, now that I have a screen, I can go and drop a ActiveX control, an ActiveX control on the screen here, and I get to choose. Now these are all the different ones that are registered on my laptop, and your list may differ depending on what you have on your computer. It just happens to be what's installed. I'm going to choose the Cognex Insight Display Control and drop that on the screen. Now what that's going to do is put a rectangle excuse me, on the screen. And I just happen to know that for this particular demonstration, height and width of 640 by 480 works pretty well. I was also told in a previous webinar that we've done with Cognex, and you can find that on our website, that they can actually auto-scale the images coming in. So that's one way to do that as well. So what this ActiveX object is going to do is I'm going to configure this in just a second, but what it's going to do is it's going to tie into this Insight software available from Cognex, and this software is going to emulate what a camera might see and report back. Now, let's see, I think I can turn on some of the different, let's see, what do I have available here? We'll get, I guess we'll get back to that. But anyway, I can show if there's a bottle that's not filled or the cap is on incorrectly. So let's see, I thought there was a different way, and maybe I can see this here. Well, regardless, it'll still work. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to get this image. Maybe if there was a condition that, in this case, the bottle cap failed, how can I get that image into InduSoft Web Studio? Now, what I found out is that while I'm emulating this, I can't talk with both tools simultaneously, and that's just a security thing that Cognex has put on this particular tool, and it's not an issue when you're using a real camera. So let me go back to InduSoft Web Studio. Now, what I need is a way to be able to connect that emulator or that camera. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the properties here of this ActiveX object. Now, one of the ways that I found that I can do this is via this auto connect string. Now, there are different ways that I could do this. I could probably use the methods and this connect parameter here and be able to trigger this maybe when a new part comes into view. But for the sake of this, what I'm going to do is just put a tag in here called connect. And this tag has to be a string tag, because what I'm going to do is pass it the IP address and the username and password and some other parameters in there. So I'm going to create that tag as a string tag, and I'm going to call that connect. And then what I'm going to do is off to the side here, I'm going to make a button. But just to let you know, this doesn't have to be a button. This could be triggered based on an event coming from a PLC or from the camera directly, actually. So I'm going to call this connect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some VB script on this button that says, okay, we're going to make that tag called connect. And notice that IntelliSense is already showing me that tag called connect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to a string. And what I'm going to put in here is the, I went off screen and clicked. And so it says, hey, you don't have that script completed. So there's a thing that you can see. It's watching your syntax. So I'm going to look off screen here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to my local loopback IP address, which is 127.0.0.1, which is where I have that software running. And if you had a real camera, you'd point to the IP address of the camera. Then I'm going to use the username, which is in this case going to be admin, and then the password. In this case, there's no password on this, so I'm just going to put 2 commas with no password in between. And then I'm going to put a 1 for the last parameter, which is take priority over anything else. So you can set some of those priorities. So that's all I really need. So I've got that enclosed in parentheses. I'm going to set that string. And when I press that button, it should be able to connect. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do is save this and save this screen. And real quick, we'll call this bottling. And save that screen. And we'll make that screen the startup screen. And so let's go back to the Insight software. You can see I have that image being viewed there with the cap that's a little bit askew. And when I run this project, what we should be able to do is press on that connect button. And again, that might be event driven, depending on what you have happen in the line or the machine. And it doesn't have to be a button, but I don't happen to have a machine here in my office. So when we get this launched up here and I press connect, what we'll see is that ActiveX Object then shows the same image that's in the Insight emulator. And I can get graphic overlays on here with different measurements and different alignments, and you'll see that in Oliver's project as well. But what I'd like to do is take this another step of some stuff that I saw Oliver do in this morning's presentation. I thought, you know what, maybe we can take this another step here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop my project. Again, I can't have both connected simultaneously. So I'm going to stop my InduSoft project. I'm going to go back to the Insight tool and tell it to set up communications. So what I did before this webinar is I set up the Cognex OPC server. And if you've used OPC servers before, you'll be a little bit familiar with this interface. But so what I need to do is I need to expose some tags to this server. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up an add. And based on this job, and let's see, I don't think I loaded a job. Let me make sure I got the right thing going on here. So let's open the job. We will open up the bottling inspection job here. And then, all right, that's why I didn't get the overlays. I didn't have that set up. I did when I saved the file. But what I'm going to do is add an OPC connection here. So I clicked on communications, added OPC, and now I'm going to pick for my job, what do I want to expose to OPC? Maybe I want to expose the whether or not it passed or failed, or the number of passes or failures. I'll expose both of those or all of those. And once I have those in my project, now I can go back to my OPC server tool. This is a Cognex tool that I installed from them. And what I'm going to do is connect up to this. Oh, you know what I need to do is, let's see here. How can I get to that? I need to go to this configuration tool. And this is going to look for all the different sensors. And there's my PC, which happens to be this emulating software here. And now you can see that not only do I have some of the original tags, but I also have these for job fail, pass, failures, and passes. And I can add, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add all of these to the configured tags, and we'll save this and exit. So that'll make all of those available, and I'm going to run this server so that it's got some values going on there. You can see right now there's no failures, no passes. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go into Intusoft Web Studio, into our communications tool, and insert an OPC DA server. I'll show you just how easy this is. This should just take another minute or so. And so here's the different servers that I have installed in my system. And here you'll see that Cognex Insight OPC server. And when I choose that, I'm already communicating at that point. Here what I can do is I can right-click and browse. And now you can see all those different tags that were available in that OPC server. So what I might want to do is add passes. Maybe I'll add failures, and we'll call that passes, and that will be a real, and the failures, and that will also be a real type tag. And then what I'll do is go put those on the screen and be able to show you those as I run the project in the emulator. So let's see, what's a good way to do this? Let's put a piece of text here. We'll call this passes. And I'll just put some pound signs on the screen. We'll enlarge this a little bit so you can see that. And then we'll tie that to that tag that we got from the OPC server. So we'll do passes first. I'll copy this down by holding down my control key, and we'll tie this to the tag failures. And I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to take that tag and I'm going to copy that text and then just change the text on this caption field here. So make that a little bit quicker. And then at this point, I should be able to save this screen. And so we get some numbers in there. What I'm going to do is go back to the Insight tool, and I'm going to tell it to run this project, which is going to go through these different images, and there's some failures and some passes in here. And I'll build up some passes and some failures. And then what I'll do is I'll go run my project, which will stop that connection in the Insight tool, but then I'll get those values that came in. So if I run this, what we should see is through that OPC server, I've already got 21, 22, 23, 28, 29. I guess that's still running in the background. And if I connect to it, I can get the image that came in there. And so then you can see that it disconnected there. So that's a very easy way that we can get some really good information coming from the Cognex tool. And if you really wanted to, you could take this another step further and configure some different PLC or robot type communications on how to get that going. So with that, what I'm going to do is hand this over to Oliver and let you present for a while. So let me see, and here we go. We'll change your role to presenter. I'm going to take you off of mute. Oliver, are you there?
Yes, hello everyone. So I'm Olivier Ferraille from Cognex, and I'm in charge of developing packaging industry for the company. Excellent. So first of all, thanks a lot, Scott. A very, very good presentation. So you have integrated the job file in the Intusoft Web Studio environment, and you did it very well. So you've seen the OPC integration. You see also the ActiveX component integration. So this is very good, and this will complete my presentation. And from now, I will explain you several things. I will explain you how we can create a job file, and this will be the second part of the presentation. First, I will explain you, and we will review who we are in terms of Cognex, the company, the product overview. We will speak specifically on some applications we have designed for packaging industry, and we will just book with the information you just got from Scott regarding the integration tools. I will show you my part of the integration to the Intusoft Web Studio environment. So that's what we will do. We will keep some time, as Scott said, for some questions at the end of the session. It will be easier to manage. So please keep all your questions, and we will be very pleased to answer end of it. We expect this presentation probably to stay 30 minutes additional. So we should keep around 10 minutes for question and answers. So just to finish my introduction, so I've said that I'm working for Cognex. I've been working for 15 years, and I took some different roles as a sales leader in Europe. But since beginning of this year, I am particularly in charge of developing the packaging industry for Cognex, and this more particularly in food, beverage, pharmaceutical, and consumer products. So this is a important investment for the company, and we have decided to invest specifically in packaging because we consider that this is one of the highest growth potential for the company for the next few years. And I will be back on this one. Okay, so quick overview on who we are. You have some data on the screen, and you may get much more on our website because we are a public company. We have been created 35 years before, and today the unique and our unique activity, our core business is really vision industry. Everything related to camera, but also the image processing behind. So we are leading this vision market since a while, and we have, as you can see, a lot of experience as we have now since more than a year, more than 1 million systems installed worldwide. So huge experience in vision. Huge growth also, as you can notice in this chart. So we had those last few years a very strong and regular growth. So as an example, for example, you see a big step from 2013 to 2014. This represented 37% of growth. It's of course due some good results we got and some probably market share acquired, but it's also due to the market demand itself. And I think maybe that's what you need to catch from this slide is the fact that many industries, including packaging, are adding more and more vision systems to their plant, and this is more and more, particularly in packaging again. If we take food, beverage, we had very few applications in the past, whereas today we have much more. So market is demanding. Why? Because the vision system can really improve productivity, quality, and of course we provide more traceability. So that's exactly where we try to support our customer to again decrease cost, protect and enhance brand image, and of course increase the traceability to avoid recalls or to limit recalls when we need to have some recalls. So I'm sure that all those data are very familiar for you. What we have designed is a specific solution for each needs, each customer needs for all industries. So we are not working only in packaging. We have some business in other industries. You see many industries today we are working with. If we would have to sort the top 3 industries we have these days in Cognex, for sure automotive is one of them. We have many control in automotive. Electronics is a very important industry also for us, but for sure packaging would be the third one. That's the 3 main industries we are targeting and which represent the highest part of our business. So year after year, we have built, as you can see in this map, a large network with an hybrid business model, which includes some direct sales and support team located in more than 20 countries, but also in some countries where we are not present, and also in some countries to have a more and a better local presence. We have developed a channel network with today more than 500 partners worldwide, able to provide you in local language, support, trainings, any activities you would need locally. We have also the possibility to provide you through our partner system integrator network some turnkey solution. So that's the name of the partners. So ISPs are more or less the distribution network, whereas the PSI are the integration network. They are certified. Okay, let's go further and let me give you a brief introduction to our product range, starting by the checker range of products. So, checker is a very easy product. It belongs to the vision sensor category, which is really in between the photocell and the more complex systems we will discuss later on. So, clearly, checker is well designed for label presence, absence, cap presence, fill level check. That's the kind of project we can easily do with a checker. It's also very limited, but the time to program a checker is very it's very fast to program it. So that's typical application we can develop with a checker. So on the top left, it's just to make sure that the flavor packet is in the box before sealing. On the top right, we are checking for underfill and overfill. In the bottom left, we are counting cans, and as you can see on the right, one can is missing. And in the bottom right, we are checking to make sure the pour spout has been correctly inserted. So that's typical kind of project we can do with a checker. In the middle, you can see the Insight range of products, which is clearly the highest, which brings the highest revenue and where we developed the highest number of systems. So you can see several models. We have a huge range of products, probably more than 20 different products, and you can choose the product based on your needs in terms of resolution, in terms of speed, in terms of tools also, but our goal is really to have the right product adapted to the right application and of course at the right price. So those systems are dedicated for more complex control than checker. This Insight is doing the image processing inside the camera, and then we communicate through the network directly the results to the HMI, to the SCADA, or also to the PLCs. So it's a standalone system. And typical control we can do is any control we can imagine. So it can be reading a code, a load code for traceability. It could be controlling the caps or the safety seals. We can control also some inspecting some features to see if we have correct design, for example. That's the kind of thing we can do. We can also control, and that's some example we will do, the label just for allergen management to make sure that we will have the right label on the right product and avoid some mislabeling. So let me show you an example through this video of a tool named OCR, which is designed for reading characters. Okay, this is done on bottles. So the goal is to read, so this is a laser marking code. The goal of this project is just to read some characters. We consider at the beginning that we don't know which character is coming, and what we have designed is a specific Autotune function, which let us learn the font automatically. So that's what you see on the screen. So at the beginning, we don't know what's the first line, but we have indicated to the system that it was 31st of January the 14th. And then we indicate the same story for the second line. So it automatically extracts all characters, but it recognizes the 3, for example, because it was on the first line, but it does not recognize the 2. So we need to learn to the systems how we will what's the value of this character, and then automatically it extracts it and it creates the font. So as you can see, we do not need to be an expert to learn a font. So we are putting more and more images, and then the more you do it, the more information you get. So for example, he has not learned yet the 8, and with this image, he can learn the 8. Okay, so once you have learned all the characters, application is done. You just need to put, and I will show you later on, the pattern, just to be always locate through the position of the bottle, and then you can read automatically those characters on each bottle. So this kind of control are very fast. On such kind of lines, we are 60,000 bottles per hour. So it's really, really fast, and we are able to read all those characters. So that's one typical example of what we do. I can show you another one, which is even faster. This one is an example we have, so you may not recognize it in this picture, but this is the bottom of a can. And as you can see on the bottom, you can see some information. You have a data matrix code, and you have also some information regarding the lot value. Also, you have a date. And the system is supposed to read all this in real time. On those lines, we are even faster, as we are supposed on the faster line to work with 120,000 products per hour. So it's really, really fast lines. It's something like 20 per second. So 50 milliseconds, but we can do it. So that's typical example of a project we can find in packaging. This one is another one. So on the right, top right, typical one. On this one, we need to control if the bottle is correctly filled, if we have the cap, if the cap there is the sealing part of the cap, and the system is able to recognize automatically. So that's very classic project we can find. On the bottom left, it's a project dedicated for robot guidance. So in this case, we use the camera to locate each part we need to pick, and the system gives for each part the X, Y, theta, in order then for the arm of the robot to pick the right place and to do some automatic, for example, palletization. And the last example I've given on packaging solution, which is on the bottom right, is typical project for allergen management. So this is to avoid some mislabeling, so putting the wrong label on the product. And so you see, for example, on the left we have, on the right and on the left, it's similar project. For product, but on the left it's a chocolate one, whereas on the right it's a peanut one. And of course, for people who would suffer from allergy on peanut, it may be an issue if they are eating peanuts without knowing it. So there is a lot of responsibility of the food producers to provide the right label, and they invest more and more on such kind of control to avoid some recalls. Okay, so this was Insight, and finally we have the Cognex Designer software, which includes Vision Pro that runs on a PC for more complex applications than Insight, such as, for example, we have a solution which provides a 360 degrees inspection with multi-camera. We have also designed some specific control on complex things, for example, reading characters on wrapped bags, such as potato chip bags. And we have also developed some specific tools for 3D inspection. So what is 3D? So we have developed a specific displacement sensor, a 3D displacement sensor, which let us provide more information than what we could get on 2D. And some projects in packaging need 3D because we cannot control in 2D. So you have some example of what we can catch from a 3D sensor, but globally we can get information on the volumes, on the height, whereas usually we get only the width and the length if we have a top view. So this really gives us more information, and there is a few projects which are unable to be realized with a 2D solution. So that's an example of what we could get. So let me show you this video. So it will explain you exactly how works the sensor. So it's based with a laser which, so we project a laser and the sensor recognizes it, and through the profile given by the laser, we can really detect a 3D image. So that's the way it works. It means that it's not dependent on the color, which is an advantage in packaging because the color may move, but in this case, we are absolutely not concerned by the different colors. And as you can see, the systems rebuild the image as if it were taken in 3D. So typical control, we can control some caps, which would be difficult. Of course, this case would be easy to control in 2D, but sometimes the difference between a good and a bad part is not as obvious, and 3D let us more flexibility to control it. So that typical control we can have, it's more quality control. So just to give you two last examples of what we can catch with 3D. So on the left, this bottling manufacturer needed to check the cap after the product was filled inside the bottle. And in fact, you may know this kind of thing. We also find this cap in the baby food. But the cap contains the safety seal, which is usually depressed to denote that the seal is good. Okay, and the difference between an open cap and a closed cap is between 1 to 1.5 millimeter only. So if you just put a camera from the top, a 2D camera, you may not see the difference. Whereas, as you can see on the left, a 3D view gives you different colors, and the color is directly given by the difference of 8. So with this, we can accurately know if it's open or not opened. So on the right, it's more a classical control, 3D control, for example, which could detect some risk of contaminated product. Okay, so that was everything related to vision. Now we have also an ID range of products, so I will go very fast, but we have some dedicated solution to read 1D, 2D codes. So 1D is a barcode, 2D is data matrix code, and we can do it through different, I would say, hardware. On the left is handheld readers. In the middle, you have some 6-month readers, and in the right, you have some dedicated products to what we name verifiers, but it's just to measure the quality of the barcode printing or the data matrix printed to make sure that we have the right standards, and it's very useful also for people who are to manage a supply chain to make sure that the first code which has to be read again in the distribution centers is correctly marked. So that's what we have on an ID perspective. So we are able, our added value is really to control, to read some complicated codes, such as in those examples. So on the left, we may miss some accuracy. On the right, characters may have some difficulties to be correctly read, but in those cases, we provide the right technology which is able to accept some difference of marking. So this is important, and we bring a lot of robustness to the market with our technology. This is very important because in some cases, and particularly in the packaging industry, we have to read under difficult conditions. So I've taken this example, which is a real project, which is running today, but sometimes we have to read under the plastic foil, and as you can imagine, the plastic foil provides a lot of difficulties. So it's a real challenge to read under the plastic foil, but the technology is strong enough to be able to read still in good conditions. So you may wonder how it's difficult to develop a vision application. As we are not running out of time and still have something like 10 minutes, I will show you, I think it will illustrate the way to do it. I will show you more accurately how we can develop from a concrete perspective typical application. So I will select an easy one. I will open a new project, so I'm starting from scratch. The only thing I've put is a database of image. And what we will do in this project, so easily we will locate the part, because as you can see we have some difference between the different products. What we will do is we will read the barcode, and also we will check if we have the right label. So for example, this one is 0%, whereas normal production should be 5%. So we will detect if there is a mislabeling. Okay? So let's go easily. So first of all, we will locate the part. So we will add a pattern tool. And doing this, we will create a job, and that's the job which has been used earlier by Scott when he acquired the ActiveX component inside in the Software Studio interface. So I select here the logo I will track. I can select a zone where I know that the logo will always be present, and that's it. I did the first tool, which is the pattern matching. So then once done, we will put different tools. So the first one I've said that we will put some identification, so we will read the barcode very easily. You just need to put the zone where you expect to have a barcode, and that's it. And you see that without any more information, the system is automatically reading the code. So you see on the right the answer. So easy. So I've said that I will also detect if it's the right label. So for this, I will put another tool. So this time I will put a pattern tool just to check if we have a 5 at the right place. So easy. So okay. So okay. You put the zone where you expect the 5 to be, and you validate it. And then you can see that on this case, you see the code. That's why it's green. Whereas when there is not the right label, it will detect a default. You see also that as we have put a location, relocate on the first pattern of those two tools, the tools are moving considering the first pattern. Okay? So, okay, it's an easy application, but I would say that this application may be done. So if I do run the job, then I can test my application and see based on some image database if the system is correctly answering. So maybe just to close the loop with what showed Scott earlier, once you have some data, it may be interesting to communicate it to the third-party software. So you've seen how we can configure and add those tools directly to an OPC server. So as explained earlier by Scott, it's very easy. You just, for example, if I want to have the job pass and fail, I just take it, and now we will automatically activate the OPC server, which is something provided in standard with the Insight business. What we can do also, maybe I can configure this, is imagine that it's a failed product. We may be interested to release an output just to reject the product. So in such a case, we will not use OPC, which is more used to communicate with a third-part solution. We may use a PLC connection. And as you can see, we have in standard a lot of solutions. We have also some direct connection with some robot manufacturers. In this case, we will do control with in TCP/IP, for example. So how should we do it? Very easily. So you can add some connection with input or output. In this case, I will take output. You select the right output you want. So again, I will take the fail information. I can take more. I will take the same. I will take again the path. And then automatically, this is given to the right protocol. So now you just need on the other side to catch the data, but you will get automatically the information and the value of the part when it's bad, like this one. You will get it automatically on TCP/IP, and the job is done. That's the other part of what I've shown Scott earlier. Okay, so I hope you have understood how easy it was to develop a vision project. So this one was, of course, an easy one, but we have designed some very easy tool in order for you to develop quickly a project and also to be able to adapt a specific project you have designed in the past to, for example, new product you would have to control. So what we noticed is most of the time of the development time is not spent on vision development. You've seen that the ease of use is interesting, but probably more spent usually on integrating the vision solution inside the automation environment. And that's why we have invested a lot in simplifying tools to integrate and maintain our solution. So this particularly concerns the communication, the visualization, and more globally the support. So let's give you an overview on those three building blocks that are very important in the development process. So at the base, you see the Cognex Connect, which is a complete library of factory of protocols which are designed into our product. So what are they? So different protocols. We made an example with TCP/IP, for example, Modbus and TCP/IP, but we could use all of them. It's very, very easy to interface, and we try to really make easier the life of any programmer. Just to give you an idea, these tools helped us. So in the past, vision application needed probably a few weeks to be developed, whereas today we have more speaking of a few days. So that's the main advantage of those developments. So in complement to this, we have the Cognex View strategy. So what is Cognex View? Is providing a common visualization strategy for all of our products. So this concerns vision and ID. And the vision view can be used in different, I would say, platforms. So it can be a hardware platform, or we can provide it to a software platform. And you can integrate directly the human operator interface inside any applications. So that's a way to do it. But you've seen earlier today with the very good presentation from Scott that also you can have some ActiveX control, and what you have here, which means the image, but also all the graph, can be easily integrated and you've seen the example with the Indusoft Web Studio software, but it's you integrate the ActiveX component as you've seen earlier. So this is probably the best way to and the easiest way to communicate. So finally, we have also created specific tools for maintenance called Cognex Explorer. So this allows some maintenance personnel to perform specific service functions such as backupping project or restoring job file or updating firmware, or everything can be done through the network. You are connected on the Ethernet network, and you immediately see every Cognex component connected to it, and it will give you all the information. You can save it, so it's very easy tool for people who have to manage a larger install park. So I've tried in a limited time, which was a challenge, to show you a good overview on what's the vision, but I'm sure that some of you may be interested to get further information on the technology or on the product. So if this is the case, I really advise you to visit the website, so cognex.com, where you will find plenty of valuable information. You can get access to recorded trainings, and they are sorted by category. So you can really identify the one you may be interested by, or you can also register to a seminar and also to some trainings we organize. So do it. I'm sure you will get much more information. That's what I could demonstrate today. So this was my last slide. So thanks again for joining us today, and I will let Scott get back the link to just for the question and answer sessions. Thank you so much.
Oliver, thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. Thank you. You know, one of the reasons why I love doing these webinars is because I learn so much. You taught me some things in the morning webinar, and then even more in this afternoon's webinar. So thank you. Hopefully and I think our attendees probably learned some things as well, how we can use vision in packaging machine applications. Oliver, this morning on the webinar, I asked you to a question that came in after the last webinar that we did with Cognex, the one that we did with Rick. The actual customer is on this webinar, so I'm going to ask that question again, and it refers to the Vision Pro software. They want to be able to use maybe .NET controls similar to the way that I used ActiveX, but with the Vision Pro software. Can you go into a little bit of detail on what they have to do?
Yes, I would say that it's even easier than what we have with Insight, because we are working directly in the software environment. What we design, we design an application as we do today, but we automatically get the source code, so the .NET component, which can be integrated after easily in any application. So you reopen it, you have all the source, and you can decide to keep or some button or just to get rid of them. So you are starting by the standard interface we provide, and you can add in second step more, or you can take less. It's up to you, but at least you do not have to rebuild the interface. It's very good to, for example, quickly design some prototype.
So you can design in that tool and then tell it what to add or remove, but then how do you interface that with like what I did with ActiveX? Can you drop something into Soft?
Yes, it's a .NET component you can integrate. It's as easy as what you've done earlier.
Okay, and that comes
very flexible,
pre-compiled and ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We might contact you for more information, but I hope that helps the user that was on the last one. So again, before I take the screen back, are there any questions for us? And again, we can't hear you on this type of webinar, so if you put those into your chat panel or your questions and answer panel on the WebEx interface, we'll try to get to those. And again, for that individual who had asked that question, I hope that helps, and maybe we can work on getting some examples later on back to you. So there we go. Again, thanks for answering that, and it would be really nice if we could get a sample. So Oliver, maybe after this, in the next few days or so, maybe I'll contact you to see if we can't figure out how to get that going, and I can pass that along to that individual. So, okay, any more questions? I've got some good feedback, and thanks for the presentation. So, again, if there are any questions, please let us know. And with that, I'd like to offer on how you can contact us. So you can see here at info@indusoft.com, or through our website, or through our online chats, or through our phone. Lots of different ways that you can contact us. And, you know, just because this webinar ends doesn't mean you can't contact us afterwards if you think of a question you'd like, or maybe you'd like to know how we did something, or see something in the future, or maybe have your own personalized webinar. We can always do that too. So I don't see any other questions coming in. So, Oliver, I'd really like to thank you again. Good information. I think our customers got something out of it, and look forward again working with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so again, I don't see any other questions coming in. So with that, I'm going to wrap up the webinar. And again, I'd like to thank Cognex and Oliver for presenting with us today. And with that, we will end the webinar. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.